Hey, my name's Kartiiierr, and in this video, I'm going to give you a breakdown on how I made this video for my friends over at Fingerprint Magazine using Blender, Photoshop, Mixamo, and Premiere. As a quick disclaimer, my process may not be your process, and I'm not showing the perfect method. Now with that out of the way, this is how I made Fingerprint in Mag. For this video, I broke my process down into 7 steps: creative consultation, research, scene blocking and refinement, character modeling and animation, camera work, rendering, and post-production.
Hey y'all, my name is Jack Hussain. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief of the Fingerprinted magazine.
I'm Jakai, and I'm a writer for Fingerprinted magazine.
My name is Malcolm King, here at Fingerprinted Mag. I'm an interviewer. I'm also a writer and a DJ.
At the Fingerprinted magazine, what we do is we cover local and underrepresented creatives and artists, and our goal is to make print that leaves a dent.
All right, so my idea for the video is to have a newsstand with all of us in there, with probably some of our past write-ups for older artists, some spray cans, and some Lucy's.
Yeah, so with this project, we wanted to reach out to Carter to bring our ideas to life with our multimedia magazine and help boost our reach with more multimedia and digital content.
Yeah, some way, it would be dope if you can incorporate a physical magazine into the actual design. That would be crazy, bro. But yeah, I mean, that's what we're really looking for this.
Yeah, peace.
After talking with the team, it was time to start my research. For this project, I gathered a bunch of photos from different newsstands, the Instagram accounts of the people I had to model, and a couple other miscellaneous items that I knew I wanted to include, and put all of the photos together using Figma. Figma is a great tool for mood boarding if you're trying to start a 3D project. It allows you to get a bunch of detailed photos all in the same space so that you can come back to it. And you can share it online with your clients. Definitely recommend as a part of your creative workflow. I started by modeling the basic shell of what I wanted to make. Not necessarily focusing on the details, but just trying to block out kind of what I was looking for. Just trying to give everything space that I knew I needed to include. On one screen, I pull up all of my reference photos and kind of work back and forth. If we look at the newsstand in edit mode, you'll see how terrible this geometry is. For me, this first step is just blocking out, not looking for details or a perfect model, but just trying to formulate ideas. Then, in a new project, I start over from scratch. Now, with a better idea of what I'm looking for, I can try to hone in the model and look closer at the details. As you can see in this video, I have a bunch of graphics on top of objects. To do that, I use artboards within Photoshop so that I can keep all of my UV maps in the same place. Then I just select the object I want to add the image to, find the shape within my UV, and line it up with the image I made in Photoshop. If you need to work backwards with a custom design, you can also select the UV within the UV editor. You can go to UV, export UV layout, and it will generate a reference shape for you to design from. You can just add your design on top of the shape and then hide the reference UV. In this video, I'm not going to give details on how I made every object, but if you see something in this video that you would like to learn how to model, drop it in the comments and I'll add it to a Blender Basics tutorial. For the next video, I plan to show you how to make your own spray paint bottle and show you a more in-depth process on how to add graphics to the can. Halfway there. Okay, so here I'm modeling Malcolm's character. I just start off with kind of a basic t-shirt and basic pant model and then kind of adjust from there. I have a tutorial already out on how to do this type of modeling for clothes. I'll link it at the top, but it's pretty basic, just masking out the character's body and then extracting as a solid, and then just using the solidifier modifier and the grab tool under the sculpt tab I like to turn off the mirroring tool for most of the time when I'm sculpting, just because it gives it a more natural look. But if you ever want something to be symmetrical, make sure you click the mirror tool. Here I'm modeling Jack's character. His hair is a little bit different. I start usually with the outline of the hair, with the hairline and the sideburns. And then in this case, he had curly hair, so I used a Bezier curve and then assigned the bevel to object and then created a hair strand. I'll go further in depth on how to do this in a later video. Just let me know if you guys want to see it. After I finish modeling all the characters, I export them as a single object and then put them into a new Blender file. I then use the decimate tool to decrease the face count. This makes rendering a little bit easier, and if the character doesn't move a lot, it's usually not a big deal. I then bring them into Mixamo, match them up with the rig, and then click No Fingers. They have a giant library of animations, and I can usually find what I need just searching through here. If I need a specific movement, I have another tutorial up that shows you how to use Rococo Studio, and I'll link that above. For this video, I used the fisheye lens by changing the camera lens type to panoramic and then the panoramic mode to fisheye equals solid. I then mess with the lens and field of view, and with show overlays on, I turn on the thirds composition guide. This helps me line up my shots and make sure my videos hit the rule of thirds. As you can see, the video slowly unblurs, and to do this, I animated the depth of field. By increasing the f-stop, you make the frame less blurry, and with automation, it creates some cool eye candy. When I'm planning my shots, I make sure my camera is exactly how I want it to be for the final product, or close enough that I don't have to make any major changes. I find a good first frame, and then duplicate it at the start and end frame. This makes sure that the video loops seamlessly, and then I have a lot more room to play with the middle. I had some problems when exporting Malcolm's character, but with it being a relatively minor detail, I found a way to hide it in a tasteful way. Once the scene is completely unblurred, you can't tell there's anything wrong, and the video reblurs before it's noticeable. While you try to have no issues with your project, good camera work can hide any flaws and emphasize all the positive details. This is really where you direct the audience's focus and try to show off your model in the best way possible. For this video, I'm using the Cycles render engine with the Optics render device. I'm using GPU compute with a noise threshold of 30 samples. This may seem low, but I like the extra texture and it drastically reduces the render time. For color management, I'm using the standard view transform with a high contrast look, and I tend to bring down the exposure a little bit. In output properties, I rendered a horizontal version, and then I redid a vertical version for Instagram Reels. I rendered at 24 frames per second. I'm using the FFmpeg format with an MP4 container, and my output quality is perceptually lossless. There's still a lot I'd like to learn about optimizing my renders, but for right now, I know enough to export quality videos in my style. For the last step of the process, I bring the clip into Premiere. I first do some basic color grading with Lumetri color. For this video, I kind of wanted an older, grainy, television-esque effect. So I brought down the exposure a little bit and upped the contrast just a hair. I added a sharpen effect, messed with the shadow tint and highlight tint, and added a slight vignette. Then I automated a Gaussian blur starting at 80% and then ending at 80%. This makes sure that my loop is seamless. Lastly, I added in some noise, only about 10%, and I unchecked the color noise. This just adds back some of that grainy texture that I like. When exporting, I click Match Source Adaptive High Bitrate, and for this clip, I did all of the audio within Instagram. Thanks for watching. If you saw something in this video that you want to learn more about, or a process that you want me to go more in depth on, drop a comment or shoot me a DM on Instagram at kartiiierr. I'm always responding to comments and DMs because my goal is to help you. Also, let me know if you like this type of video and if you want to see more. Thank you for all of the support throughout the time that I've been gone. But I'm back now, and I'm ready to share my art with the world. See y'all in 2 weeks.